screen of the National Football League. And the spotlight is on Roquan Smith, who has climbed to 68 tackles so far this season. It's the Ravens and the Bears, and it's coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the inner harbor of Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Good to be with you. Mike Tirico, Greg Olson here in the booth. Greg, we got a couple of teams who love to throw the football, and you know how guys say, hey, we're not going against the other offense, we're going against the other team's defense. Greg, these star wide receivers, you know they're watching what the other guy does on the field here today.
Oh, in their minds, there's no question. They are competing against one another, and I think that's what makes this league so fun is when these guys, they know each other, they study each other, they work together in the off seasons.
All right, just about set for football. The crowd is definitely ready. So are we. Off we go on EA Sports. And a solid run back there. He'll get this out past the 30-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense taking the field for the first time. They're led out by the quarterback from USC, Caleb Williams.
It's always so hard as a player, Mike. You leave a game, you have a big performance, you feel like you really did your job, but it comes in a losing effort. And while you're proud of that effort, there's this sour taste in your mouth going into practice the next week, knowing that it wasn't good enough. That's what he's facing here today. He had a great game last week in a loss. Can he find a way to lead his team and have an equally good game, continue to play at that high level that we've seen him play at, but this time do it in a victory? That's what they're focusing on. That's been the emphasis all week long. We're going to get a shot to see how it plays out here today.
That's a short throw caught by Komet. And they'll work this close to a first down, maybe just a tad short. Trying to avoid the early 3 and out, they face 3rd and a yard. They'll try to run for it. It's Swift. And they've got it. Going to pick up the first down there. Right around midfield.
Really just the same approach that an offense would take on a quarterback sneak, Mike. You don't necessarily have to spring them for a huge gain. Can you buy just enough space up front to pick up 1 yard? That's exactly what they did. Pick up the first down.
To the left side, he's got Komet. And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line. From the 39, here's a 1st and 10. They're trying the left side with Swift. Not much there, maybe a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Operating from the shotgun, it's Williams. Open man, that's Devin Duvernay. 7th play of this opening drive, and here's 3rd down. The tight end, Komet, is on the move. 3rd and short yardage, and here's Williams. And that is incomplete. DeAndre Swift, the intended target. And that'll set up 4th down. On now, it's Cairo Santos for the field goal. This one from 49. Santos's kick is good. And the Bears are out to an early 3-0 lead.
And that's a good drive right out of the gate. They're able to make some plays, move the ball down the field. I know they didn't get a touchdown, but that is a good, positive result.
This is fielded inside the 5. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense taking the field for the first time, led by their quarterback, league MVP in 2019 and 2023, Lamar Jackson.
There's been a lot of talk coming into this week, Mike, about whether or not he'd be able to keep this hot streak going. And while I don't know if he'll be able to produce that absurd stat line like he did a week ago, I think he's more than capable of having another strong outing here in this one. I mean, somehow, if he can replicate last week's success, I think it's pretty safe to say he's got a chance to leave here with another win. The receiver thought he had a nice soft spot in that zone coverage, and he settles down to give a nice target to the quarterback. But the defense had eyes on him the entire time. Secure rally tackle prevents that from turning into a big play.
Now the first carry for King Henry. And nothing doing on that one. He'll go down behind the line.
How often do we see linebackers be so fast trying to track down the ball carrier that they end up actually overrunning the play and allowing the running back to cut back? But not this guy. Does a great job staying in phase, stretching this ball out sideways, and he brings him down for a loss. One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. But really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield.
This is a guy who's been doing it at a high level, Mike, for a long time. Not too many running backs finding success in the NFL past the age of 30. That's usually when they kind of ride off into the sunset, but as always, there's the exception to every rule.
On the ground, here's Keaton Mitchell. And he's going to be stuck well behind the line of scrimmage. A play going absolutely nowhere. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. Hopkins sent in motion. And he's bottled up after a gain of a yard. 3rd and long. From the shotgun, here's Jackson. And the rush gets home. He'll go down. They got him.
The best thing they did here, Mike, is keep their rush lane integrity. What that means is you have to rush the quarterback as a unit. Keep him in the pocket. Keep him on that X. And when you do, man, he becomes a sitting duck for this pass rush.
Duvernay to return. And he'll be brought down. Short return. And they'll take over there. The Bears offense ready to see the football for the 2nd time. They were able to turn that opening drive into points. 3-0 our score as they start again with a first down. They'll start on the ground with Swift. He's going to force his way for a yard or two, but looks like this one's going to be coming back. Williams got his receiver on the in-cut. He's got it.
This is one of those throws where you're hoping you do most of the damage after the catch, but give credit to the defense. Once that ball was caught, they were on him quickly, and there was nowhere for him to go after the catch.
Williams to throw on 2nd down. Pass right side to the tight end, Komet. And out of bounds he goes, just shy of midfield. That is catch number 60 for the season.
What a luxury that certain teams, when they have a guy like this, I mean, not only is he the big target, but then to have that size and speed to run away from these linebackers and do so much of his damage after the catch.
On 1st down, it's Swift. Not much to speak of on that one. Maybe a gain of a yard. It's 2nd down. Another run here, another run by Swift. He'll pop this ahead for about 4, but it will set up 3rd down. On 3rd down, it's Williams from the gun. Open man, that's Duvernay. 11 yards on the connection there. Good for a Bears 1st down. Working out of the gun, here's Williams. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Williams. And that ball incomplete over the middle.
Timing and trust. Critical elements of this quick passing game. If your target and the quarterback are not on the same page, it winds up being an incompletion, and a wasted down.
They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
So on a day where he's completed, give or take half of his passes, Mike, you have to imagine there's a handful of throws he'd like to have back, and I think that last one falls in that category. But the biggest thing, and most fortunately for them, they find themselves with a lead despite a bit of an up-and-down performance out of their quarterback. And this is what you want. I mean, you clearly have the advantage, but you want to continue to apply pressure. Can you score every time you get the ball? They're able to do that here. They tack on 3 and extend their lead.
They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens headed back out again. And he's been a real threat, not just with the arm, but the wheels as well. The NFL's leader amongst quarterbacks in terms of rushing touchdowns. They'll start this on the ground with Mitchell. A gain of 4 as he's taken down. Here's a 2nd and 6. From the gun, Jackson. Pressure gets there, and down he goes.
The defensive coaches, they preached all week, Mike. They have to have relentless pursuit of this quarterback when he tries to extend the play. So often it results in a great play for the offense and a big pickup. This time, because of that pursuit, it leads to a big loss.
Work to do following the sack. It is 3rd and long. Jackson. That's over the middle to the tight end, Andrews. Pretty good effort on that one. It will not be enough. It's going to bring up 4th down.
I think this is one of those plays that when the ball carrier watches this back in the film room tomorrow, he's going to be a little frustrated with himself. If he could just have made that one guy miss, he picks up the 1st down. Instead, he gets brought down short of the sticks, and now they got a 4th down decision to make.
And he's going to be brought down after a short return, and that's where his team will get possession of the football. The Bears offense back onto the field for their next possession. They work with a 6-point advantage as they start this drive on 1st and 10. This drive will begin with a run by Swift. And nothing on that one, back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. They'll try again here, 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. A play fake, and they'll throw with Williams. That is incomplete. Well read that time defensively, making it difficult downfield, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. The Bears send out their punt team. A fair catch here, called for and made beyond the 30-yard line. The Ravens offense getting those helmets back on, ready to head out for their next possession. The deficit, 6 points. So a touchdown here would be mighty nice for the offense. See what they can do on this drive. 1st and 10. And he is crushed in the backfield. Defenders firing through. Shut it down right away for a loss of yardage.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on 1st down, but that's exactly the case here.
2nd down, Jackson. And they'll get about 8 out of that one, but still a little work to do now on 3rd down. Now, Jackson. He finds his receiver. That's Bateman. A gain of 17 yards. Good for a Raven first down. So a big third down hookup takes us to the break. 6-0 is our score. We'll be back in Baltimore after this. They'll come up here, 1st and 10. This one complete to Bateman. That's a nice pickup on a first down throw. It's a gain of 8. Here's 2nd and 2. Again, it's Jackson. That's to the right side. He's got Andrews.
There's this misconception out there, Mike, that in the NFL, you have to run the same amount of run plays as you do pass plays. And as you're seeing in this drive, you can fall on one side of that coin a little bit more as long as you're able to remain effective and efficient. So far, their passing game has dominated here early, and that last pickup leads to a first down.
DeAndre Hopkins was the intended target for that one. It's 2nd down. Hopkins sent in motion. They'll get maybe 3 out of that one, and it's going to set up 3rd down. It's the tight end Likely in motion. On 3rd down, Jackson. And that is incomplete.
It's rare to see an offense that finds themselves trailing and say, well, their quarterback's been actually one of their biggest bright spots. Usually that doesn't go hand in hand, so it's a little surprising to see him miss a throw like that on a day where he's completed passes at a highly efficient rate.
He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Ravens are on the board. They cut the lead to 6-3.
And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
The Bears offense ready to get back at it. They lead by a field goal as they go to work with a 1st and 10. Here's Williams. Nowhere to go. He's going to be taken down. Odafe Owe bursting in and recording the sack. Off play action. Here's Williams. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down. Throwing is Williams. And this drive is over before it can start. Swallowed up to force 4th down.
Sometimes you just have to know when the play is over and live to play another down. He has pressure coming right at him, and instead of just throwing the ball away, he tries to escape, he tries to get creative, and he ends up losing a lot more yards than he should have.
The Bears sending out their punt team, as he'll be standing just inside the back line of the end zone. This will be returned from just beyond midfield, but he cannot get away. Great job down there to hold him to a short return. The Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson getting set to take over once more. And he's used his legs to great effect this year, both when the pocket breaks down and by design, as you check out the league leaders in quarterback rushing yards. And they'll get about 4 here as he is taken down. Here's 2nd and 6. On the zone read, it's Mitchell. And he'll only manage to pick up 3 yards. And that leads to third down. It's a zone read, and Jackson's going to keep it. This will not do the trick. They've stopped him behind the line. Fourth down coming up.
Clearly, the play caller here is thinking that the defense is going to be completely zoned in on stopping the running back, thinking he can catch them off guard with the quarterback keep. The defense was prepared for both guys, and they now force fourth down.
And no chance to down this one. It carries deep into the end zone for a touchback. So out comes the Chicago offense as they get set to take over once more. They'll do so with 1st and 10. A run here with Swift. And this will gain a couple of yards up to the 22-yard line. They'll come up on a 2nd down and 8. Here's Williams now to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing third down. To throw is Williams. He'll look middle, and he's got his man complete. That's his 3rd catch of this first half, and good enough for a first down.
Third downs, Mike, those are quarterback downs. Those are the downs where you tend to find yourself in a must-pass situation, and that's where the top guys in the league are still capable of overcoming it. So throw the ball downfield, be accurate with the ball. Winning on third downs, that is a recipe for success.
Throwing on first down, it's Williams. Duvernay with the grab. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a first down completion of 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. On the option, it's Swift. And he'll be near the first down marker. Let's call it a gain of 3, but a short yardage situation coming up on third down. Now Williams. He's got the hook up there to Odunze. And he's going to have a Bears first down. He has it by plenty as they keep the drive alive here on 3rd and inches. Slot man in motion right. Here comes the jet sweep. And this defense having nothing of it. They get him down for a loss on the play. Lost 1 on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. They'll run out of the gun. It is Swift. He'll get about 3, and that's going to lead to third down. Converted twice on third down already on this drive. Now can they do it for a 3rd time? Operating from the shotgun, it's Williams.
I think he predetermined that 3rd down throw, and even though the coverage was tight, he still tried to fit the ball in there anyway, and it ended up falling incomplete. I think if he goes through his progressions and has a little bit more trust in his protection, I think there's an easier throw to make out there.
So here's the Baltimore offense getting set for their next drive. We'll see how they want to attack things here, backed up deep in their own end. It's 1st and 10. Back near his goal line, Jackson. He's got his tight end. It's Andrews.
And this is where the versatility of the tight end position really starts coming into play. Not only do they have to line up with their hand on the ground, but they can occasionally split out in the slot. And man, they're too fast for linebackers, and a lot of times they're too big for defensive backs.
They'll get maybe 3 out of that one, and it's going to set up third down. Hopkins sent in motion. And he's got it to Flowers for the connection. And he'll be brought down, but not before they move it up past the 30-yard line.
Great pre-snap recognition here by the quarterback. He looks outside and sees man coverage, and he knows exactly where he's going to go with the ball. Now it's up to the receiver to create separation at the top of the route. Ball's on time, great placement, nice big pickup.
It's the tight end Likely in motion. Play action now. Jackson. That's caught. Derrick Henry. And no chance to turn and go. That one good for just a couple. Second down and 8. To the air one more time with Jackson. That's out wide. They're trying the tight end screen. And that's a first down. It will be a gain of 8. It's the tight end Likely in motion. Off the play fake. Jackson. This throw right is taken in by Flowers. And they'll get this one down to the 35-yard line. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. From the 35, it's 1st and 10. Jackson up top again. There's the veteran tight end, Andrews. And he's going to be taken down as we hit the 2-minute warning here in this first half. They face second down and 7. Bateman is the motion man. Jackson now on second down. Who else? Another catch for his favorite target. How about 4 catches on this drive alone? Time to change the defense. This one gets him another first down. From the shotgun, here's Jackson. His throw on first down is going to be incomplete.
Up until that incompletion, they've done a really nice job on this drive, Mike, picking up fresh sets of downs. And typically, throwing the ball on first down is a great way to do it. But now they find themselves in 2nd and 10. Do you keep it in the air and try to get the first down here? Or is the idea to just make third down manageable and take your chances picking up a key third down?
Good-looking screenplay there. A gain of 11 and a first down. Bateman is the motion man. A first down throw for Jackson. Open man is Bateman. He's got him. And they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5. From the gun, Jackson. This one caught at the 4. And they'll stop him just short of the goal line, but they are going to have enough to convert. It's going to be 1st and goal. Henry tries to pull his way in. No, he's not going to get in. In fact, they've shoved him backwards. Again, it'll be Henry. Trying to push the pile forward. He didn't even get to the 1-yard line. They stop him short. No gain. Jackson going to keep this one himself. And he's going nowhere. Met and dropped behind the line. And now it's 4th and goal. The Ravens now going to use their final timeout, as that'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. The Ravens turn things over to their field goal unit. This about as short as you can get. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Ravens will tie the game at 6.
And that's a really nice boost here before the break. I mean, you work the clock well, you're able to steal some points. The biggest thing is you're able to build a little momentum now going into the locker room at halftime.
1st and 10. Williams. They'll try to set up the screen here to Swift. And they'll get about 4 here as he is taken down. So we have reached halftime here in this one. As we get you down to Florida, Orlando specifically, for the coaches, Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
Third quarter set to commence, and we're back underway here on EA Sports. Here comes a return from the 3. And he'll be taken down right at the 29-yard line. The Ravens offense and their quarterback headed out for their next possession. And he has been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been picked apart. That is borne out in those impressive numbers. He has been terrific all game long. And he'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Jackson. And they're going to track him down. He couldn't find a receiver, and down he goes.
If there's any silver lining for this drive, Mike, it's the fact that at least this sack occurred on an early down. So I guess technically they have a chance to claw themselves out of this hole, but that's the 3rd sack of the game. And this defense doesn't show any signs of slowing down. This offense has to find a way to be better on 1st and 2nd down, Mike. Living in these 3rd and long situations, must pass, is not a recipe that their offensive coordinator wants to operate in.
And he'll get forward a few yards on the return. And that's where the offense will take over. The Bears offense ready for their first possession of this second half. Low-scoring game, all time, 3rd quarter, and a touchdown here could go a long way. See if they can get it on this drive. 1st and 10. Little short pass here, caught by his tight end. That's a nice pickup on a 1st down throw. It's a gain of 8. They'll come to the line now on 2nd and 2. They'll send him over to the left. They'll go play action here with Williams. He'll get this out wide. And this one's going to be a loss of yardage. He's marked out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. Here's a 3rd down and 4. On 3rd down, it's Williams from the gun.
And that's exactly how you teach it. They want these defenders to time the hit, that right when the ball gets there, you separate the receiver from the ball. And those are the ones on offense, man. You just have to make that catch, Mike. I know it's easier said than done, but you know the hit's coming. You've got to squeeze that thing, brace for impact, and make that play for your offense.
The Ravens offense getting set to get back to work. They'll begin with 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Henry. And he'll bring this to about the 25. TJ Edwards there on the stop. Jackson gonna keep it himself. He's going nowhere. Gonna lose yardage on that play.
The key to running the read option, Mike, is that the timing has to be just right. If it's too slow getting going, a lot of the times defenders can get in the backfield and cause havoc, and that's exactly what happened here.
On 3rd down, Jackson. That's to the right side. He's got Andrews. His 8th reception of the game, and good for a 1st down.
I know, I'm biased. But listen, you can't convince me, Mike, that there's a better option on the field, especially when you got a guy like this, than on third down or critical moments. That's where the ball needs to go. The size, the speed, the matchup problems that he creates. If I was in a critical situation, there is no doubt where I'm going with the ball.
Trying to find some place to go, but nothing developing. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 1. Hopkins sent in motion. The throw to the right flat. It is caught. And they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple and sets up third down. Jackson looking to throw. The pressure, too much, and he goes down.
We're starting to see in these passing situations, Mike, this defensive line is starting to have their way against this group up front, because right now, their pass protection is breaking down, and his quarterback's paying the price for it.
Ravens sending the punt team out there, as he's on for the 5th time this afternoon. This brought in out past the 20. And he'll be brought down. Short return. And they'll take over there. The visitors' offense ready to come back out for this next possession. They'll see if they can put something together here, beginning with 1st and 10. A play fake, and they'll throw with Williams. He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
Nice example there, Mike, of the quarterback just being smart with the ball, understanding it didn't quite develop the way he had intended. Throw that ball out of harm's way, live to play another down.
To the perimeter, he got Odunze on the out. And he'll be taken down up at the 40-yard line. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. The tight end, Komet, is on the move. They will run it over center with Swift. And he surges forward for a gain of about 5. They'll break the huddle. It's 2nd and 5. They send him right out of the slot. They fake the jet sweep and give it up the middle. And he will not be able to get free, picking up only a yard. Now, it's 3rd down. Receiver in motion, headed left. 3rd and short yardage, and here's Williams. That pass sideline is caught. Nice catch, stays in bounds, and he's got the 1st down. Terrific job with the feet to make that one a grab. A gain of 11 there, and a 1st down.
This is why the timing of these routes is so critical. If that ball is thrown a little bit later, he's unable to keep his feet in bounds, but instead the quarterback is on time and accurate, and the receiver does a nice job not only securing the catch, but ensuring that both feet remain in bounds.
The hole closes quickly. He'll pick up about 3. They'll go again with Swift, and he'll lean forward, getting this to about the 35. Roquan Smith there to bring him down. The backfield empty here for 3rd and 2. From the shotgun, it's Williams. And this ball incomplete on 3rd down.
There's a fine line between trusting your arm and having a little bit too much faith in your arm, right? I think this is one of those situations here, Mike, where there was nowhere to go with the ball. He tries to fit that one in there anyway, and he's lucky that it just falls incomplete. Job number 1 on this drive, find a way to get the lead. They, of course, would have loved to score a touchdown, Mike, but 3 points here, that's a pretty good consolation prize as it moves him out in front.
From the 6, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The home team's offense getting their final instructions before heading back onto the field. This one has been tight so far. A field goal separating the two sides as this drive kicks off with 1st and 10. Jackson now. There's that man again. Another catch. Mark Andrews. And what an effort after the catch. He goes all the way. 74 yards. Touchdown, Baltimore. Using the tight end to get to the end zone, Greg, it's your old position. You're very familiar with that. That catch and carry. What an ability for your tight end to take it to the house.
Yeah, and this was never really the strength of my game, Mike, but we're seeing so many tight ends around the league who not only are great at securing the catch and making the tough ones, but it's their ability to extend the play after the catch that's separating them, just like we saw here.
The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. On the return, it's Devin Duvernay. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. And that's where the offense will take over. The visitors' offense starting to trot out for this next possession. They trail by 4, a touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. And he'll pick up 2 out to the 27. On 2nd down, it's Williams. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. So as they look at the injured player, we'll take a timeout. Set to go now on 1st and 10. Give up the middle with Swift. And he'll manage to get this ahead for a pickup of 5. Williams to throw on 2nd down. That's caught left side by Odunze.
This pitch and catch may have looked routine, but I promise you, Mike, these types of anticipatory throws, especially outside the numbers, they don't occur without countless reps, oftentimes when nobody's even watching.
That is caught downfield by Odunze. And he'll be taken down.
If you want to score points at a high level in the NFL, you have to generate explosive plays. And after that big chunk pass play, they find themselves now down there in the red zone, and this is where you have to finish drives.
So the big play gets them down close, and now it's 1st and goal. Working out of the gun, here's Williams. And he will fight his way to the end zone. Caleb Williams. Touchdown, Chicago. The defense comes up with the coverage, but they cannot keep up with the speed as the quarterback scrambles to the end zone for the touchdown.
And down here in the red zone, Mike, is where I think a quarterback's legs can be the most dangerous. The defenders are trying to match backs, match tight ends and receivers, but often it's the quarterback that has no one assigned to him, and in this case, he's able to capitalize and run it in himself.
So here's Santos after the touchdown. He's out to kick this one off. This will be returned from the 6. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The home team's offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's had it going in the first half. Really had his way with the secondary. They have been powerless to stop him. Now, they're trying to keep it going. And he's not going to get too far, tackled after a gain of just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. It's the tight end Likely in motion. On play action, here's Jackson. And he's going to go down yet again. He has been under fire all game long. In motion comes Andrews. Jackson from the gun on third down. 10 catches now in the game. They've gone his way early and often. That one for a first down.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play, and it wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest, and that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
And it's a short pickup to about the 42. TJ Edwards there on the stop. Now after the run, we get a stoppage for an injured player. The training staff going to look, and we'll step out for a moment. Here's a 2nd and 9. In motion comes Andrews. 2nd down, Jackson. There's a short one caught by Andrews. And they'll work this close to a first down, maybe just a tad short. They'll look to pick this up 3rd and a yard. Now Jackson, this a designed run. And I don't know, I think he is short. They are. They're going to mark him short. And that's going to bring up 4th down. So, 3 quarters now in the books. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Trailing late, they've got to go here. It's 4th down. It's the tight end Likely in motion. They'll run for it with Henry. And he's going to have the Ravens first down as they find a way to keep the chains moving on 4th down. It's the tight end Likely in motion. On 1st and 10, Jackson. This one complete to Bateman. And he'll be hauled down at about the 35-yard line.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late.
And he tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, but will not happen here. I think he's going to lose a yard. Second and 11. Hopkins sent in motion. Jackson now on 2nd down. Who else? Another catch for his favorite target. Big play coming up. This is 3rd down. In motion comes Andrews. From the shotgun, here's Jackson. He manages to get the throw away and completes it. And he will have a first down, but I don't think that's going to stand. They're already heading backwards. The task now, a really tough one. 3rd and very long. From the gun, Jackson. He'll try and get there on the ground. And they'll finally run him down, but he takes it inside the 10-yard line.
What I like the most here is just the decision that when he wants to be a runner, he commits to being a runner, and he's able to weave his way downfield, pick up the first down, sets up 1st and goal.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. It's 1st and goal now from just inside the 10-yard line. Jackson. That's hauled in at the 2. And he's going to be down close to the goal line. Good job defensively to make sure he did not get to the end zone. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he will take this one across into the end zone. Derrick Henry. Touchdown, Ravens. Touchdown number 7 for him on the year. What a game this has been. Back and forth we go, and that 4th quarter score changes the lead one more time.
And we've seen the lead go back and forth, Mike, and now the question is, can they get a stop? Can they find a way defensively to hang on to this lead and get themselves this big win?
So now playing with the lead after that 4th quarter touchdown. Time to kick it back the other way. Duvernay on the return. He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25. The Bears offense getting things in order as they trot out for this next possession. They'll start it here with a 1st and 10. The tight end, Komet, is on the move. They'll start on the ground with Swift. And he'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call.
Offense.
The tight end, Komet, is on the move. They'll start this on the ground with Johnson. And he'll be stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. Operating from the shotgun, it's Williams. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5. They need one right now. 3rd and long. Taking off, he'll try to get there.
And that's a great job defensively here on 3rd down. Not only taking away all the options down the field through the air, but when the quarterback decides to turn into a runner himself, they're able to converge and make the play and keep him short of the 1st down.
So it's 4th down. They'll call on the punt team. They'll be forced to punt, trailing here in the 4th quarter. And he's going to be brought down after a short return, and that's where his team will get possession of the football. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens headed back out again. They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Now, Jackson. A throw, left side, caught by Andrews. And good yardage there after the catch. They'll wind up with a gain of 7 on 1st down. 2nd down and 3. They'll run. It's out of the gun, and it's Mitchell. Oh, no dice there. He is met and tackled behind the line of scrimmage. They need 8 as they come up for 3rd down. To throw is Jackson. And that is incomplete.
When you get the ball in this situation, what you're looking to do is not only end the drive with a touchdown to put the game away, but you'd love to chew up some clock. So with that incomplete pass now likely putting an end to this series, that's a big opportunity for them to try to close this game out.
And he'll get forward a few yards on the return. And that's where the offense will take over. The Bears offense make their way out to take over once more. They'll try to establish some tempo as they start this one with 1st and 10. So the drive begins with a give to Johnson. And this rough day on the ground continues. They're going to drop him behind the line again.
Every team makes an emphasis on winning first down, but as a defense, when you're able to take them back for a loss, second and long, you can really become more of a pass-centric defense and really tips the scales into your favor. Defense does a nice job here initially using zone coverage to take away the middle of the field. That's the most valuable real estate in football. Quarterback gets off his first read, sees some openings to the sideline, and him and his receiver are able to connect.
And he's going to have the first down. It is a gain of 6. Good conversion on third down.
Critical third down conversion there, Mike. Now brings up a fresh set of downs. You find yourself here trailing in the fourth quarter. They got to go down and score, and they got to score fast.
He'll be taken down after a gain of 2. Second down and 8. The tight end, Komet, is on the move. Throwing on second down, Williams. A gain there of 10 yards. First down, Chicago. Here's Williams now to throw. This one taken in by Odunze. After the catch, he gets that forward for a gain of 9. Second and a yard. Slot receiver headed right. Using the jet sweep for the fake, they run it up the middle. And he will work this down inside the 40. That's going to be good enough to move the chains. First down.
Second down at these distances, Mike, you pretty much anticipate a pass, and I think that's what the defense was lined up thinking. In this case, they leave a little too much room on the ground, and the offense is able to pick up a first down.
And he's close to another first down as he's brought down just shy of the marker. A good spot here, second and a yard. Putting the tight end in motion. Here's Williams. Duvernay with the grab. And that's going to be a first down. A pickup of 9. A handoff as they try to run it here. And a good run there. Going to get him 5 yards. To throw is Williams. And he won't get away. Good open field tackle there to get him down behind the line.
We call them safeties because they're usually the last line of defense, but not here. On this play, he's up there at the line of scrimmage attacking the offense, and he takes him down for a negative play.
On third down, here's Johnson. Now, flag comes in. It was thrown by the umpire. The pickup is 4, but usually that's a holding penalty. It's only a yard, but a big yard. 4th and 1. They're going for it. Here's Williams. This one caught at the 4. And he will have the first down. So they roll the dice on 4th down in the red zone. And it pays off with first and goal. Brown. He slams it in there, and he is in. Touchdown, Bears. Good drive. They kept the ball. Greg, they moved it effectively down the field and finish it off on the ground for the touchdown.
So often, Mike, we see teams work on a great drive to get down here close, only to settle for a field goal. But in this case, give them a lot of credit. They put a great drive together, but they're able to capitalize and finish it off with 6.
So now playing with the lead after that fourth quarter touchdown. Time to kick it back the other way. Now, here comes a return from the 9. And they'll bring him down just shy of the 30-yard line. The Ravens offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he has been masterful so far leading this offense, keeping the mistakes to a minimum, on point with his passes, generally one step ahead of the defense all game long. Oh, a lot of chances on that one. It was bouncing around, but it falls incomplete. Here comes second down. Now Henry. He'll get this close to the first down marker, taken down just shy at the 38. Needing to convert here on 3rd and inches. They'll drop to throw. And this offensive line just has no answers right now. It's another sack. Now or never, they'll throw on 4th down. And that is incomplete. They had their chance. They took it there. Look, they're trailing late. Got to let it fly. This will wind up a turnover on downs. Here's Brown. Nice gain on 1st down, but the penalty flags come in. And the question now, will the play stand? Up the middle they go. And he finds some space, tackled after a gain of 7 on 1st down. They'll run here with Brown. And the defense there to meet him. They'll hold him to 2 and bring up 3rd down. They'll try to get this one on the ground. And it looks like he's going to have that 1st down. He will, not by a whole lot, but he's got it enough. And they convert on 3rd down. The defense still with all 3 timeouts at their disposal as the quarterback's down to a knee. Lost 1 on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. Victory formation here as he's down to a knee. That'll do it for us. For Greg Olson and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.